Elon Musk didn't start out rich. In fact, there was a moment when his bank account dropped so low that a single failed decision could have ended everything. No safety net, no old money, no quiet backup plan waiting in the background, just pressure, risk, and a stubborn refusal to quit. Today, his name sits at the top of the wealth rankings, hundreds of billions, entire industries bending around his decisions, governments paying attention when he speaks. But that version of Elon Musk didn't exist yet. So how did someone who once slept on office floors and gambled his last dollars turn into one of the most financially powerful people in history? The answer isn't luck, and it isn't genius alone. It's a chain of decisions that stacked momentum so violently his net worth didn't just grow, it exploded. And to understand where that explosion began, we have to go back to when Elon Musk had almost nothing. The broke years nobody talks about. Before the headlines, before the private jets, before the electric cars and rockets, Elon Musk was just a teenager obsessed with learning how the world worked. He grew up outside the center of power, outside the center of money, and far away from Silicon Valley. There was no fast lane waiting for him, no smooth entry into wealth. By his early 20s, Musk was living like someone who had already accepted failure as an option. Cheap apartments, long nights, entire days spent coding and thinking instead of sleeping. When his first real startup finally sold, it looked like the story was over. He suddenly had millions, more money than he'd ever imagined. But here's the part most people miss. Instead of protecting that money, he put almost all of it back on the table. And that single decision would push him closer to bankruptcy than ever before, setting the stage for something far more dangerous that was coming next. Betting everything instead of playing safe. After his early success, Elon Musk had a choice most people only dream about. He could have stopped, bought comfort, secured a quiet, wealthy life. Instead, he did the opposite. He poured his earnings into ideas that scared even seasoned investors. Not upgrades, not safe improvements, but moonshot ideas that sounded unrealistic, unnecessary, or outright foolish. Online payments before people trusted the internet, electric cars before people believed batteries could compete, private rockets when governments were already struggling. At one point, 3 of his biggest projects were all bleeding cash at the same time. Money disappeared faster than it came in. Failures happened. Deadlines slipped. Critics got louder. There was a moment where Musk was funding multiple collapsing ventures simultaneously, watching his fortune drain week by week. And then it happened. A decision so risky that if it failed, Elon Musk wouldn't just lose money, he would lose everything. And the fallout from that gamble would change his financial trajectory forever. The near collapse that made him richer. There's a myth that Elon Musk's rise was smooth. It wasn't. There was a period where both his space company and his car company were weeks away from shutting down. Not months, weeks. Investors walked away. Public confidence evaporated. Failures were broadcast everywhere. Musk personally injected what little money he had left into keeping both companies alive at the same time. He was forced to make impossible choices with no margin for error. Then, at the edge of collapse, momentum finally shifted. A single successful breakthrough changed how the world saw him overnight. Confidence returned, money followed, and suddenly Musk wasn't just surviving anymore. He was positioned at the center of industries that were about to grow at a historic scale. But this didn't make him rich yet. What made him rich was what came after. How he structured ownership, control, and timing, and that's where the real explosion begins. Ownership was the real weapon. Most people focus on Elon Musk's salary. That's the wrong place to look. His real wealth never came from paychecks. It came from ownership. Elon Musk didn't build companies just to run them. He structured them so that when they grew, he grew faster than anyone else involved. Instead of taking cash, he took stakes. Instead of selling early, he stayed exposed. Instead of diversifying for safety, he concentrated power. As valuations rose, his net worth didn't increase gradually. It moved in violent jumps. One announcement, one contract, one surge in confidence. Billions appeared on paper overnight. and when the public markets finally caught on, the numbers became almost unreal. But Musk wasn't done stacking leverage, because while most billionaires protect their image carefully, Elon Musk did something that amplified attention, and with it, value. He made himself unavoidable, and that decision would push his wealth into a new category. Attention turned into capital. Elon Musk doesn't behave like a traditional executive. He speaks directly, he posts impulsively, he invites controversy, but none of it is random. Attention became fuel. Every time his name dominated headlines, the companies tied to him gained visibility. Public interest turned into speculation. Speculation turned into capital flow. Markets react to narratives as much as numbers. Musk understood that better than most. When momentum swung in his favor, valuations multiplied faster than the actual businesses could physically grow. Entire industries were repriced around his involvement alone. And then came the moment that officially separated him from everyone else, the point where his net worth didn't just lead the rankings, it broke them, crossing a line no one else had. There's a difference between being rich and being structurally untouchable. When Elon Musk crossed into unprecedented net worth territory, it wasn't because he found a new invention. It was because multiple long-term bets matured at the same time. Electric vehicles went mainstream, private space became viable, technology valuations surged. Each one fed into the other, and suddenly Musk wasn't just wealthy, he controlled platforms, infrastructure, and influence at a scale that reshaped markets. At that level, wealth compounds differently. One decision affects multiple industries, one announcement moves billions, one shift changes entire futures. But what's most interesting is this: despite the scale, Elon Musk still operates like someone who remembers having nothing. And that mindset explains why his story doesn't end where most others would. Why his net worth exploded. Elon Musk was never rich to begin with. He became rich by refusing comfort, by betting when others wouldn't, and by staying exposed longer than anyone thought was reasonable. His net worth didn't explode because he chased money. It exploded because he chased outcomes that required patience, pain, and risk at levels most people never experience. And whether his future decisions add more billions or burn them away, one thing is already locked in. Elon Musk didn't inherit wealth, he forced it into existence and reshaped the modern definition of rich along the way.